If you ask me, the hallmark of a really good art style is one that breathes life into the characters as well as the world that they inhabit. And it need not be it need not be explained that Kei Urana, the creator of GACHIAKUTA, is a master of breathing life into her characters and just making them feel very much alive. What is popping, everyone? Corey Shea here, and we are finally back with another video. I know it took forever to get this out. Today, this will be the first entry in our Road to Artist Alley 2027 series of videos. And today, we'll be studying the fundamentals of shape and form and how to create anything with basic shapes, as well as study the art style of Kei Urana, who is the creator of GACHIAKUTA. So without further ado, let's get it. Our first segment will be focused on the basics of shape and form, and basically how to create anything with basic shapes. So without further ado, let's get it. Alright, so this first part of the video will focus on the basics of shape and form. A lot of beginner artists struggle with how to start a drawing. They see something that they want to draw and they do not know how to start it. They're very intimidated. But the good news is there is a fun way to break it down. If you're trying to draw anything in this wide world and beyond, just remember that anything that you see around you is made up of one or more combinations of these 5 core forms. And these 5 core forms are sphere, cube, cone, pyramid, and a cylinder. So, if you ever want to draw something, the best practice is to essentially break that thing down into core shapes. Anything that you see around you, remember, anything that you see around you can be broken down into basic shapes. Alright, cool. So, now that I explained the basics of shape and form, let's kind of put it into practice. One little practice that I like to do on my own is I like to get a piece of paper and just fill that page up with just basic forms. I like to just do kind of like random stuff like cylinders, cubes, spheres, just drawing just random forms and trying to basically fill the page up with it. Basically, the purpose of this is just to basically get the feel of how forms kind of occupy space and how to basically draw anything via these forms. We're gonna get more into it. We'll do more complicated, I would say, forms instead of just random shapes. So, without further ado, let me show you a better example of what I'm talking about. Alright, let's get into some better examples of drawing things via shapes. So, we're going to be drawing the very iconic Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts. So, to all my Kingdom Hearts fans, you will enjoy this. So, basically we're just breaking down the Keyblade into basic shapes. So, when drawing it, you could pretty much break it down. The handle is essentially kind of like a shaved down cube. The shaft is basically a long cylinder, and the teeth is kind of like a combination of a shaved down cube, pyramids, and spheres. So, it took a minute, but essentially, I'm very proud of the results. I think this is gonna be an easy way for beginners to kind of understand, like, basically drawing things via forms. Remember, guys, you can essentially break down anything into basic shapes. So let's kind of watch this through and see what our final result is, and you guys can tell me how well I did. There we go. Sora will be proud. And Alright, now that we went over the basics of shape and form and how to create anything with shape and form, let's get into our GACHIAKUTA studies. So today, we're going to be doing some character studies. So we're going to be drawing Ryo, Gila, and Rudo. So we're going to start with Ryo first. She is one of my favorite characters in the show. So as I draw her, just kind of take notes of how I break down everything into basic shapes. See how I start off with her head as a spear and just kind of work from there. I add little guidelines to kind of like guide where I put like the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and we'll kind of just break down everything into shapes. Like her neck is a cylinder, blah 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 blah. When it comes to GACHIAKUTA, as far as like studying the art style of it, one thing I noticed from Kei Arena, she uses a lot of sharp shape language. So when you look at the character's eyes, you see a lot of like sharp shapes, especially the hair as well. So there's a lot going on, and I absolutely love how she kind of like bends the shapes and like kind of like stretches them. Especially in the manga, you'll see like characters in certain pages and certain pages, they look very exaggerated, especially like the anatomy, the facial expressions, stuff like that. And that's kind of what I want to achieve with this series. I really love how expressive her art style is, down to the bodies, how she draws like forms, bodies, faces, like everything just feels like it has life to it. And I think that's a good thing to study. Alright, so we're going to get into Rudo now. And when I bring up the sharp shape language, you definitely see it in Rudo. Because his hair is a bundle of sharp shapes. Like, as is a lot of anime characters, they always have that exaggerated, sharp, spiky anime hair. And you see it a lot. Notice this facial expression. See how exaggerated it is? It's very expressive, and like I said, that's one thing I really want to study. Yeah, not much to say about Rudo that hasn't already been explained. Yeah. And next, we will be drawing Gita. I realized I said her name wrong initially, but that's Big Gita. So, like I was saying, when it comes to like the sharp shape language and expressive facial expressions, she simplifies this because she has, especially in this drawing in particular, she has the most crazed out, cracked out expression. I absolutely adore it. She's a cool character, by the way, as well. So you basically see the sharp shapes, her teeth, her eyes, her little I forgot what it's called, like the inner part of the eye, like they just call it the sclera, how they're like star shaped. Even like her hoodie, it has like the little horns coming out of it. There's a lot of sharp shapes going on. And if you guys haven't watched my video from a year ago, I actually go over the basics of shape language as well. So when we think of things like, let's say, circles and spheres, we think kind of like soft, approachable, blah blah blah. When we look at things like cubes and cubes and squares, we think of kind of like sturdy, reliable, strong, rigid, essentially. And then when we look at things like triangles, like sharp shapes like that, we think kind of like aggressive, energy, stuff like that. Scary, spooky, essentially. So she definitely has a lot of sharp shapes, and she takes full advantage of the concept of shape language. Alright, so on this next part, we're going to take what we've learned from our GACHIAKUTA character studies and apply it to my little chibi avatar. So we're going to basically draw my little avatar in the style of GACHIAKUTA, or at least I'm going to try to. So basically in this one, I tried to mimic kind of like the sharp, grungy vibe of Kei Arana's work. Especially when it comes to the hair, I wanted to give, see how I break the hair down into like kind of like little tube-like cylinders. I tried to mimic like kind of like the hatching that is present on characters like Jabber and his locks. And also, I went back and forth about how to draw the eyes as well, but I think I really liked how the eyes turned out, especially in the bottom example. Once that's done, notice how I broke these drawings down to shapes like cubes, well, not cubes, spears for their face and the upper body, also a spear for the joints as well, and cylinders for the arms. So yeah, all in all, I think these drawings really really captures the style of GACHIAKUTA. I think I could have did better, but I'm really proud of how these turned out. But we'll let it play out, and you guys can tell me how I did. So without further ado, let's see the final results. Alright, and lastly, we'll be doing a bigger illustration, basically taking note of everything that I learned from these GACHIAKUTA studies as well as shape and form. We'll be drawing a full body serious illustration of my avatar here. It's basically a film version of me. So off the rip, you guys notice how I started drawing the body. I started off simplifying the body down to basic shapes, ovals for the upper body, oval for the hips, cylinders for the limbs, and of course a spear for the face. Just notice how everything, I'll say also notice how when I draw these forms, I put like kind of like wrapping lines around them to kind of give the illusion that these are actual forms that exist in space. As you guys can see, I had really a lot of fun with this. I guess as far as the character goes, let's kind of explain the idea I was going with the character design here. Obviously, it's a thin version of me. It's basically my avatar in the style of GACHIAKUTA. If you guys have watched GACHIAKUTA, you guys are familiar with the power system. Everybody has a special item that they are very dear, that's very near and dear to their hearts. It's called a vital instrument, and basically they get their powers from that vital instrument. My vital instrument is this little sketchbook. So, if my character was in the world of GACHIAKUTA, essentially they would be from a poor village, and as a struggling, inspiring artist, you can imagine that sketchbooks are very rare. So my character basically handmade a sketchbook, basically using tattered books for the covers and just any form of paper available, and basically binding them together, glued them together to make a vital instrument, a makeshift sketchbook. And so that was kind of the idea I wanted to go for. I really dig how this came out, especially the colors. One of my favorite colors is red as well as black, so this this is definitely littered with red and black. I actually really love how I did the eyes. The eyes were very I was very proud of it. This character just looks so fucking cool. I love her. I love them. So yeah, I tried my best to add as much of the sharp shape language. I tried around the locks. The locks are a bit, they're kind of like a rounded, sharp shape, I would say. I think that's just kind of like the habits of my current art style. I like to do a lot of like soft shape language, if that makes sense. But I really think it still looks like the style of Kayurana. My character just looks so badass. Damn, I want to be like her when I grow up. Fuck. But yeah, super cool, super cool. One of my favorite parts about this illustration, you guys will see soon, I kind of got into like the special effects on the vital instrument. I kind of added like that that colored aura that you see in the GACHIAKUTA anime when they activate their vital instruments. I also put some glowy eyes on her because as well, when they activate their vital instruments in the show, their eyes glow their respective colors. So I just thought it was a nice touch to kind of give that grungy, dark GACHIAKUTA feel. But all in all, I think I did really good on this. But obviously, you guys can kind of tell me how I did. You guys will also see later on. One part I really liked was the tattoos I did on her arm. That is gonna be. Speaking of tattoos, I really want a tattoo in the future. I know it's off topic. I really want a floral sleeve. I know that shit is gonna hurt like hell, but drip or drown. With beauty comes pain, and I'm ready to endure that pain for a sleeve. But yeah. Honestly, I just ran out of things to say, and I think we're pretty much kind of at the end of this video. This was a very fun little study. I think I learned a lot from this, and hopefully you guys learned a lot as well. Sorry this video took a long time to come out. My schedule was complete dumpster juice. But if nobody has told you guys that they love you today, remember that I do. Enjoy being blessed, carry no stress, and I will see you guys on the next art video, whenever that comes out. But yeah, peace out, and enjoy the rest of the video. Yeah.